Is it?
A little bit. Says we are live. We'll give it a few moments to flip around. And there it is. Looks like we are live. Howdy, happy Wednesday. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Big Johnson, how the heck are you?
I am living the dream, sir. How are you doing?
Man, doing all right. Doing all right. So we do have at least one other joining us. Hopefully, two others joining us throughout the course of the chat here. But thank you, everyone, of course, as always, for joining us and hanging out with us on a fun Wednesday evening. So, Big Johnson, what's new, man? What's going on with you?
Just tricking out guns and getting them milled for RMRs and making them the way that I want them made. So that's what I've been focusing on.
Nice, nice. You have any out in front of you to show everybody?
Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Here's this one. Just finished it up, if you can see it. Got the comp. It's the Roland Special CZ P320.
That looks awesome.
So, pretty awesome. And I'll go ahead and show it. I have sneak peeked it on Instagram, but I haven't shown anybody, but I'll show our faithful viewers.
Yeah, I thought I saw it a little while ago.
Yep. Here is the P07 comp, ready to roll.
Very cool. Very cool.
So it came out pretty good.
Nice. Nice. 1R. Sorry, I've got to take a quick text for work. My apologies. That should be the end of that. Anything else new with you? How is the red dot exploration going with you?
I won't go back. I mean, I'm really digging it. You know, I had the SRO on the Shadow 2, and actually I have another SRO too. But I'm really liking the dots. I haven't had any fail. I haven't had any flicker. I haven't had any mess up on me. And you know, I've done tests where, of course, before I was faster with irons. Now with the dot, I'm actually faster with the dot. So, but it's, you know, every day it's just more and more of a learning process. So I'm not, you know, the dot master by any means, but I am finding it a lot more, I guess, intuitive. You know, I look out and I want to see a dot versus just seeing sights, or see through the dot, I'm sorry, at my target. So, but I'm really digging them.
Nice, nice. Now, RTT Guns and Gear, another channel out there, by the way, everybody. He's asking, is it normal when the iron sights are lined up for I'm assuming, red dot to actually be lower than the sights when 0 to 15 yards?
It can be, depending on if you have a third co-witness or if you have a full co-witness. You know, you can get sights that are actually taller, and then it depends on if your red dot is like a Glock mill or an MOS mill, or if it's an aftermarket mill where they're milling it even lower. You have to get shorter sights, so that can happen.
Interesting. So is that a bad thing? Would that mean that then your irons take over at a certain distance?
Well, it's almost like you see the dot, but you kind of don't pay attention to the irons. You know, they can get in the way, but I would just get shorter. I would get shorter front sight or shorter sights, or in the meantime, I'd pull the front sight off.
Okay. Okay. Now, Pistol Pete is saying, if you switch back to irons, do you notice any degradation of your skills? That's a great question.
No, I mean, I did a test, I guess right before I broke my toe. I did a test where, you know, it was in an indoor range, but it was the silhouette. So I went 2 to the left shoulder, 2 to the head, 2 to the right shoulder, 2 to the left wrist, and 2 to the right wrist. I did 2 with irons, you know, all the way around. And then I did the dot, and I did the dot faster. But I mean, the dots were like literally right on top of each other or touching, and the irons were about this much separation. So it wasn't real bad. It just wasn't as fast. But then again, if I grabbed iron sights, I could still use them. It's just, you know, when you look, you know, you just look through. I mean, you're not, you know how you have to have equal light, you know, all that when you're lining up your sights. With this, you're just putting the dot, you know, just taking the dot to the target and popping it off. So as you keep doing it, more repetition, you do become faster with it.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I need to keep working on that. Harry's holsters, saying that his irons are zeroed, and then his dot is zeroed, and they do not co-witness. So he zeroes them, I guess, separately, if you will. Do you do that, or do you zero everything together?
Well, on a lot of mine right now, I don't have. I mean, I'm getting them. I just don't have them yet. I don't have iron sights on all of mine yet. So I'm trying to find out what height I'm going to do, because they're not MOS. They're actually milled deeper into the gun. So I'm going to get with Dawson, and I've got to do measurements where I have to use a micrometer to stick it in the red dot gap, and then find out what the height there is, and then they'll tell me the proper sight to get. So I haven't ordered those. I've been focusing more on getting the dot down, and then I'm going to throw some iron sights on all of them.
Okay. 17.
Gentlemen.
How's it going, man?
Hello, sir.
Good. How's it going for you, fellers?
Good.
Glad
Not
to hear
too bad. Not
I'm
too
going to turn this off real quick.
Sounds like
so
we
I don't know what you guys were talking about. I just got in, so care to fill me in?
Yeah, we were just talking about red dots and some of the different philosophies around using it, zeroing in a red dot versus co-witnessing irons, things like that. So, yeah, any thoughts on red dots and how you approach zeroing those in, especially if you co-witness?
I don't have any thoughts on it just yet. Give me a couple of weeks, and hopefully I can add to that, because, I mean, I've shot red dots before with the Glock MOS, and I sucked at it. So that's probably why I got rid of it. So I just really, honestly, I'm going to enter this with kind of like new eyes and just go about it almost like new. So I don't want to comment, because it probably wouldn't make any sense, just because I have very limited experience with it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat, to be honest with you. I really don't have enough experience. Now, Cal Bizzle, I like that. Cal Bizzle says, you guys see the Sig P365 SAS. What do you guys think of that? Have you guys checked that out yet?
I did see it. It's actually, it's an interesting concept. I'm a little confused, though, on how that sight is going to work, because you're not really able to see anything. You're just seeing the dot lining up in around the circle or whatever. So I don't know how that would work. Like, that seems kind of interesting. It's not something I'd want to buy, because in case it sucks, I don't want to be responsible for having a gun that I can't use, because I already have one of those. But it's a pretty cool concept. I'll give Sig credit, and you guys know I don't like Sig polymer guns, but that's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I honestly, I haven't really even checked into it or cared to check into it, honestly.
Yeah, I think it's an odd deal. Having the sights basically integrated within the slide. I'm not sure I'm a fan of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good concept, because it is completely dehorned. I mean, there's nothing you can catch on. So I mean, from that aspect, it's actually pretty smart. But I think, again, we could all agree it's kind of one of those weird things. You don't know. And I think it's going to be tough for people to make any heads or tails without paying the money for it. And I just wouldn't do that at this point.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat there. And going along with that, Johnny says Shield 2.0 versus 365 XL. You could even say 365, either one. What's the ultimate concealed carry?
Glock 19. Everybody's gonna be different, man. As much as I like the single stack, I have the Shield 2.0, the 4-inch. I don't find myself carrying it. I really don't. I mean, I've been carrying the P01. Before that, it was the P225. So both single stacks, but not. Well, one is a single stack. My bad. The P01 is kind of the same grip thickness as a 225. But I don't find myself carrying that Shield as much as I probably should. And it's just, I don't know what it's about. It's a good gun, shoots well, functions nicely. But I would rather have more compact than subcompact single stack,
Between those two guns, I would take, because I'm sure he's probably asking, like, out of those two, which one would get. And I would take the Shield in a heartbeat over that, and I run a +2 in my Shield, so it holds 10+1. So when I carry it, I'm very well equipped. Uh-oh.
We're down one. Well, he'll be back, I'm sure, or it was something that we said. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I agreed with him. I would take the shield.
Yeah, I'm on the fence on things lately. Admittedly, I've been carrying the 365, and right now the XL is off a little bit. He is back,
Yep.
but
Whoops.
whoops. But I'm still a big fan of the Shield. I think it's a great build. It's a great gun. It feels good in the hand. It to me is one of those single stacks that you really can enjoy shooting for a lengthy period of time, and I like that. I think it's a good compromise. But I'm kind of in the same boat, man. Pick the one that you like and the one that you shoot well, the one that blows your skirt up, so to speak, and just run with it, man, and do what you need to do with it, because so many of these guns anymore, whether it be in the single stack or compact, subcompact, full size, doesn't matter. They are getting better and better, and with features, better triggers, all those types of things. So it's becoming more and more exciting to try all of these things out and find the one or the ones that fit your needs,
Yeah, true.
I agree.
See, Kim is talking about the X5 that Honest has. You going to let Honest adjust your sights? Heck no. He doesn't know what he's doing. Are you kidding? No, I don't want him to touch. I'm totally kidding. He could do whatever he wants. He'd probably make it better, so he could do whatever he wants with it. Oh, good times, good times. Well, 17, we need to catch up with you, man. What's new with you? What's going on?
Not much. I just wrote another letter that's going to go nowhere to the local sheriff here because the Masada is still missing in action. And I can't seem to get an answer as to why that is. So I wrote another letter, basically talking about the fact that, this is not just about guns. I mean, I understand it's a difficult conversation to have in the state of New York, but it's a little bit more about personal property. I have a gun shop right now that is holding two things that I have paid for with my own money that I can't get. And it isn't anything because that I've done. It's not a crime. It's not, not me being local or whatever it might be. It's just a simple fact that nobody signed a green slip of paper. And so I approached it from that end. I was very respectful as always. And, hopefully they don't red flag me because of it. So, it's just disgusting. Like, I'm tired of it. Like today I just got really tired of it. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. And, they blow wind up your skirt, like you said before, about, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, but nothing changes. And it's the same old, same old. And I just want an answer. I just want somebody to give me a logical answer that makes sense, that they can defend. And I'm not talking about going crazy or any of this other stupid crap, because, I know we've got all those, couch patriots out there who sit there and say, do this, do that, go burn down the Capitol and all that other stuff. But at the same time, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, this is basic principle. It's my property. I paid for it. I want it. And that's it. So give me a reason why you're not allowing me to pick up my property. And it better be a good reason. But so far, I haven't gotten that. So that's where I'm at. And I mean, I've got this Holosun that's sitting here collecting dust already because the damn Masada's not here.
Yeah.
So frustrating.
See, in your state, there should be, say, like, because you have to get your coupon, say, like,
right,
a 2-week maximum. Like, if you haven't gotten your coupon in 2 weeks, you automatically just go get it.
Right.
I mean, and there should be something like that.
Right. And even that is kind of an overreach, because there is nothing anywhere in any state law that says there's any type of waiting period. Now, of course, if you don't get confirmed within that, those 72 hours, now you wait 30 days. But at the same time, I mean, there's nothing there. I mean, there's no reason for this. It is just an arbitrary wait. And it's not a universal thing. It's just local to this region. So you go up into the northern counties of New York and you don't have a problem. You come over here and right away it's drag your feet, drag your feet, drag your feet. Now, I just want some accountability, and you can't get it. Can't get it here. So it's extremely frustrating,
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, I'm glad I don't have to deal with it, but.
So I also want to ask you guys a question, because I was thinking about this today, and I want to try to keep this as civil as possible, and we'll see if we can do that. So I wondered what you guys were thinking about some of the things that I was seeing online today. And what I mean by that is, obviously, we know it is the anniversary of 9/11, 18 years later. And, I think everybody has that personal feeling of whatever it might be, and I think obviously some of us are closer to it than others. And that's normal. We know that. It's in any crisis, any kind of, thing like that. But one of the things I noticed today was as I was scrolling instant, social media and all this other shit, I noticed like there were a lot of companies that weren't necessarily advertising. And I think that's a good thing. Like for me personally, I don't really think this is a day to advertise. I don't. And now I know people are going to disagree, and that's fine. But I also noticed some big companies who didn't even post anything. And again, my feelings about it are going to be different probably than both of yours, and that's fine. I respect your opinions and everything. But I think where I'm coming from is the simple fact that if you can post a picture of a pocket knife or a watch or framework on and being stippled and all this other bullshit, you can't take 5 seconds of your day to just post something in remembrance. That to me it bothered me today. It really did. And what bothers me most is the fact that we have people out there who claim that they're go America and all that other stuff. But let's be honest, in our generation, and that's probably it. Maybe the generation behind us, this was the most. I mean, to me, the entire nation suffered PTSD on that day. Mm-hmm. And I just don't get it. I don't understand. And, I was actually texting Coda Boy and I was, ranting to him and some other people and he kind of put it in perspective a little bit for me, and that's good, and talked me off the ledge a little bit. But at the same time, I'm shocked. I'm really shocked about how many people just didn't do anything. And that's kind of bothersome. And then, of course, when I talk to my son and he tells me, well, I ask him, what do you do in social studies class? They didn't even talk about it today. And I don't know, man, like, is this where we're really at this point, where we just don't even worry about it, but I can post my new stipple job or and I'm not knocking anybody. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, like, this is my own personal feelings about it. And, or here's my brand new scope, and yet nothing, not a damn thing. I don't know, man. It irked me a little bit today. I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that?
Big Johnson?
Well, I mean, I was on the road all day, so honestly, I haven't really posted anything today.
Right.
And of course, I thought about it. I mean, I remembered it. I remember exactly where I was and what happened and the whole works. And I remember the day after too. I mean, I'm all for remembering, especially the fallen heroes and that, because that's a huge, huge deal. But it's up to the company what they want to do.
Sure.
I don't want to beat them up because they forgot or beat them up because they chose not to. I was going to post something today, but I literally have been on the road all day. So I don't know. I mean, it's a tough one. And I thought about it a lot today. And actually, there was a station on Sirius that was playing a lot of that music, like Where Were You? Remember all the songs that they came out with. And it gave you a lot of time to reflect when you're behind the steering wheel. So,
yeah. So now, are you referring to just companies or people in general?
I mean, I think overall in general, and like I said, I'm not specifically pointing anybody out. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying, I mean, have we forgotten already? I mean, we say never forget, but I mean, I don't know. And again, like I said, I'm obviously in a different place than certain people, and I understand that. But I don't know, man. It just bothered me a little bit more today than it has in the past. So, but that's it. I mean, that's all I have to say.
Okay.
I guess when you're local to it and you know people in it, and it's definitely different. I mean, there's still a lot of anger and bitterness and sadness. And you always recall it, and that's why I say I think a lot of people were really affected by it. And unfortunately, I think some people just kind of, blew it off, which is disturbing to say the least.
Yeah, I understand. I think everybody remembers in their own way. And some people are public about it and some people are private about it. And that's the way I look at it. I mean, I tend to be pretty private in terms of my political views and different things like that. There's also, I suppose there's being inundated with things so much to where it's like, man, okay, we get it. So I don't know. That was a very polarizing day, obviously, for any of us who remember it. And I'm sure most of us remember exactly what we were doing. I remember that day crystal clear, the entire day from front to back. I was running a big bar here in town in the Plaza district. It's kind of an upscale district. And I mean, we probably had 5 people come in the entire day, and we had the TVs on. All of us were sitting at a table watching TV the whole time, eyes glued to the TV the entire time. I remember every moment of it. So we all went through what we went through, and some were closer, obviously, than others were. And so, everybody kind of does their own thing. And I suppose as long as you do appreciate what happened. And do remember in your own way, whatever it is, publicly, privately, there you go.
No, that's why I'm saying, I think it's so much different for so many different people for so many different reasons. So, I don't know. It's just one of those days. It's a bad day. That's all.
Yep. Yeah, totally was, man.
Yes, it was.
All right, way to bring it down, man.
Yeah, you're welcome. Positivity bubble, guys.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's talk guns, man. What do you guys want to talk about?
Well, I'm kind of on the hunt, man. I've been looking for guns as always, but I'm so discouraged right now with the whole Masada thing that I've kind of put everything on hold. So I don't know where I'm at right now. It's a bummer. It really is, because they've really screwed everything up. What a surprise. So, I was looking online today. I was thinking about buying a 509M because I do like the 509. I like the fact it's smaller. And I was looking at the, what is it? The ARD or some shit 509. It's the one with the red dot slide on it, but it's a compact one. So I was looking at those, and then I started looking at the Apex RDOs. And then I'm starting to say to myself, why am I even putting myself through this? Because I know once I get it, it's going to sit there for like 2 months. So it's been quite the whirlwind right now in New York. And, of course, our beloved governor just keeps passing more and more rules that everybody has to obey. So it kind of sucks.
I went into a couple of stores, lunchtime, kind of, did the thing and found a P10S. If you haven't checked it on Instagram, I'm actually holding it. And man, that thing is a tiny little guy. I mean, it's cool. It's like a miniature P10C, but it is a small little thing. And I saw something that I haven't seen. Then, of course, they don't make them anymore. But I saw a CZ P02 in 9mm. And
P02, what is that?
It's like the P01. But it's a P02 and it's 9mm, So I saw that one. I was like, that's pretty cool. And it was used, but they wanted $600 and some odd dollars for it. Wasn't worth that. But did see a Tanfolio limited 38 Super open gun, and it was sweet. It was really nice, brand spanking new. They just got it in, and I was like, that's a nice gun. But and the funny thing about the Tanfolios, I mean, their prices for this open gun was $1,900, and that's not bad at all. But I mean, for what normal open guns cost. So, but but other than that, I was walking around the store just kind of bored. I was like, okay, there's that polymer gun, there's that gun. There's just nothing that's super duper exciting out there right now.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that.
Yeah. I'm kind of having fun with the 2011 type thing right now. That's been a good time. That's been a lot of fun. I agree though. There isn't a lot of inspiration out there right now. Before we know it, we're going to be on to the next SHOT Show, and it'll be interesting to see what the next year brings to us. I wonder how many more red dot options we may have. We've been seeing that trend go up and up. So that'll be very interesting. For sure. But I agree, man. There are a lot of things that just aren't terrifically inspiring right now. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about things like the Masada and that sort of thing, which is pretty cool. I mean, I like the price point for what you get on that, which is cool. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not terrifically excited by it necessarily. I think it's cool, but haven't really necessarily been like, ooh, I have to try that one.
Right. I mean, if you haven't heard, there's this new gun that is supposed to be coming out and looks really good. I don't know if it's going to work out, but it's called the Caracal. And, maybe you guys would want to try that. So, yeah, I mean, that's where I'm at too. I mean, like right now there's a lot of uninspired stuff. I mean, there's, I look, there's a couple of guns I definitely would like to own. You know, obviously you just got to save up a little bit for it, but I definitely on my list to get is the M11A1. That's a definite. I don't know what it is about that Sig, but I love that friggin' Sig. Um, and that's it. I mean, you know, the polymer guns are the same. I mean, it really is. It's getting to that point. I wonder if we're just kind of entering a lull in the gun market, because even though gun sales have gone up, you know, there's just, you know, for people like what we're doing and what we do on YouTube, there's just not a lot. I mean, there's just not a lot of difference to anything. You know, there's a lot of boredom, I think, right now.
Sure, sure. Well, Paul H, a long time viewer, has been asking about the 92X Centurion, or really any of the models, because they've got multiple models out there. I have to admit, I'm still kind of excited about the 92X. I'd like to try it at some point. It's on the wish list. It's gonna be a long time before it happens, but it would be fun to try. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah. Now, what size would you go for?
Oh, I'd go for the big one. I'd go for the full freak out competition one. I mean, because it's fully adjustable. I mean, that's one of the things that really intrigues me. I mean, you can really adjust that trigger significantly. So I think that'd be fun to play around with. But again, that's a ways off.
What about you, Big Johnson? What would you? Well, you'd probably need the jumbo version.
I was going to say the full size 92. You know, like KS's Wilson Combat and his Langdon Tactical. And I've had them in the past, but you know, the way that I'm shooting now, they're just a little short for me. But if I put the extension on there, they're not as bad. But I mean, I think they're great guns. You know, I've had them in the past, just the standard one. And I mean, there's not a dang thing wrong with them. The only thing I wish, and supposedly they're working on it, they're trying to find a way to put a dot, you know, make it dot compatible to where they can either put a standoff, you know, like a side top rail or something on it. And I think that would be pretty cool to be able to have a dot on one.
Apparently, Keenan is really loving that retirement life, man.
Yeah.
That man has got a new gun every damn day.
Yeah. Good for him, man.
I know.
I'm gonna say,
God bless you, Keenan.
Yeah. You know, I look at it this way. He's worked, you know, he's worked his ass off in law enforcement. So when he's retired, so shit, man, you can't be buried with it.
That's right.
That's exactly right.
But you got to be buried by it. Remember that.
That's right. A box right next to you.
Yeah. It's funny. So, I mean, I don't know. Like, you know, I have the M9A3. That gun is fantastic. It's fabulous. You know, for me, it wouldn't make sense to get a full size 92X, whatever. I definitely won't be getting a competition gun because you have to take out a second mortgage for that. But I would probably go with the compact. I was thinking initially the Centurion, but then I saw a video that compared the full size to the Centurion. It's not a heck of a lot of difference. I think it's like point something barrel wise. So I was looking at the compact. The compact would be a doable one, because I think it's sort of like a mini M9A3, you know, just without the threaded barrel. So that'd be kind of cool. I mean, that would be something that's on the radar. I just don't know where it fits right now.
Yeah, I totally agree. So I've been kind of trying to keep up with the comments as best I can. A lot of conversation going on out here. So what do you guys think of the CMMG 10 millimeter?
I think it's cool. I mean, that's a great option, you know, if someone, you know, because a lot of people or some people don't like the pistol, you know, the pistol control or lack of control on a 10 millimeter, which it's kind of like a 40, but some people think it's quite a bit, you know, more oomph. So behind a pistol or a pistol caliber carbine, you know, it'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now Brian is saying CMMG will be old news when LWRC makes a CMG 10 millimeter. What do you think of that?
I don't know.
I mean, you know, it's probably going to come to a point where everybody has that offering. You know, if you remember, everybody had the 45, you know, pistol calibers and stuff like that, and they kind of faded, and everybody went to the 10 millimeter. So everything's kind of making a circle now. I think for the long haul, 9 millimeter is where it's at. I don't think there's anything wrong with 10 millimeter. I just think for feeding that sucker, you know, and buying all that ammo, you're much better off with 9 millimeter.
Yeah. You made a good point. It's practical versus not practical.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely want to shoot 10 millimeter just to have that experience with one, but I could not see burning money for, you know, 1,000 rounds for that. I mean, let's be honest. It's always about practicality. At the end of the day, you could have a $2,000 handgun, but if you can't, I mean, I guess you could afford the ammo, but which would you rather pay for, a 9mm or a 10mm in regards
Yeah.
to the ammo prices? You know?
Well, it's true. Well, and King Baldwin makes a point. The LWRC will be twice the price. And I bet you're exactly right. I mean, where CMMG is going to be for the 300 series, probably $1,500 ish, right? And the LWRC will probably be $3,000.
Yeah.
And does the end justify the mean? I mean, is that extra $1,500 really there in the LWRC? I mean, they're cool looking. I think they're cool. If somebody gave me one, I wouldn't be mad at them. But I don't know that an extra $1,500 justifies the what you get or don't get with it.
Yeah, I feel about the same way. I mean, everybody thinks, oh, if it costs $3,000, it's much better quality, but that's not always, I mean, the other one will do just as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think there's a lot of offering in handguns, of course, in regards to 10 mils. I don't think there's a lot, that companies have really embraced that well enough. I mean, obviously, you know what I'd love to see? I'd love to see like a P365 in 10 mil.
Well, that would be very interesting. That would be.
I want to know who the first person is going to shoot that.
It would hold 4 rounds.
Yeah,
and that's
it. And then it would actually explode in your hand. So
right.
That would be great.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, and see Kim saying 308 over 10mm all any day. Yeah, but I mean, of course, kind of can't compare them, but I would take the 308 all day long.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, let's see.
Got a question, KS. You still enjoying the Scorpion?
Is that from Rhoda?
Yeah.
I like the Scorpion. However, I'm still thinking about some different. If I could only have ones with a couple of the PDWs, and Scorpion might be one of them. It isn't necessarily my favorite of the bunch. There are a couple of criticisms I have with the Scorpion. Now I've been able to remedy those, but I had to do them out of the box. I had to change the grip, and I had to change the safety on the right side. Now those are both by choice. And I had somebody make a point the other night. I did a kind of impromptu chat on Saturday night, and somebody said, the grip is extreme because they were originally made as full auto. And that makes perfect sense. I'm totally on board with that. But to the civilian market, they aren't. And so to me, it's extraordinarily uncomfortable for long periods of time. So getting that couple of degrees difference where it's a little bit more palatable for shooting makes a big difference. So, it's a couple of extra bucks, thankfully, not very much you have to spend with it. So Scorpion's good. I think there are better options, especially at that price point.
Yeah. And I totally agree with you on that. The safeties, I had to change mine on my Scorpion, and the grip angle. That was pretty much a must. But as far as accuracy, it's very accurate. It shoots great after I changed the trigger also. Super, super accurate gun. The thing about it though is, the block that's in there, you can really feel the recoil of that block, with the blowback design, versus like an AR pistol and a 9mm. You really don't feel it like you do on the CZ Scorpion, but it doesn't make it a bad gun. It's just a different feel.
Yep, I would agree.
But super accurate.
You know what I find interesting about the Scorpion is that it has not aged well. And what I mean aesthetically, it just, even though it was released, just a year ago, right? Or something like that? Like a year and a half?
No, it's been out for a long time.
Couple of years. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so it's been out a couple of years, but it doesn't look like it's from a couple of years ago, compared to seeing some of the other things that are coming out. So maybe a design refresher is needed for that.
Well, I think part of that also goes back to, again, its original core design, because it was designed for military and law enforcement, and having that auto and that burst fire, and having the chassis to be able to really support it, and that big bolt to support it as well. I would agree. It's not the best looking, although the micro I think still looks pretty cool with that faux suppressor on the end. I mean, it isn't bad, but I would have to say that there are some that are better looking. There definitely are. What else is going on out there? Let's see oh wait, Art, sorry, I was trying to catch Art's. Let's see, who here reloads pistol rounds? Part of me has interest, but that might be because new pistols haven't captured my interest as much.
Well, first I just want to say, Art, it looks like you've de-aged considerably. So
he's Benjamin Button. He's going backwards.
That's funny.
But no, I don't reload. I really should. You know, and I've kept saying I'm going to get into it. You know, it's sitting down and being stationary and not traveling to find the time to do it. The initial setup, you know, I've heard it's like $1,500 to get in and, you know, kind of start doing your 9mm. But you know, I need to, but I haven't done it yet.
17 reloading.
I don't have the time. I don't. I wish I had more time, but I don't. That's it. That's the only thing that's holding me back, you know, is time.
For me, it's money. You know, by the time you spend all the money on the gear and all the stuff, and then you reload, and I shoot 9mm 95% of the time, trying to get back that cost savings would take forever. And you know, and I shoot maybe, you know, 1,000 to 1,500 rounds a month, generally speaking. And that still would take a pretty long period of time to be able to pay itself off. And I don't feel it's worth it. And I am also really wanting to see, in the climate that we're in right now, what firearm components are going to be hit and dug into more and more. And I'm sort of wondering if reloading supplies will be one of them. I'm just wondering, I have no idea if that's going to be true or not, but that also kind of keeps me from not doing that. You know what I mean? And Indie Irish is saying 9mm is almost net neutral. That makes it even more not worth it, in my opinion, to buy all the gear.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly the reason I haven't done it yet, because, you know, like you said, with all the time and buying, you know, getting the brass, or even using your old brass and primers and powder and bullets and all that, I'm just like, you know, it just doesn't seem to pay for itself immediately, or it's going to take a while. But I've heard some people say that it starts paying for itself after a year. You know, I mean, I can buy a hell of a lot of ammo in a year, so I don't know if it would pay for itself within that year.
Now, Kaz, you brought up a good point about what are they going to target next, but I don't really see it being reloading supplies, because I don't really think the anti-gun crowd is very educated on much of anything.
True.
So they're going to be looking for the most obvious, most dangerous looking thing. So to me, I don't see reloading becoming a problem unless somebody smartens up and then they get somebody to tell them where could we hurt them the most. I think right now they're targeting things that are very apparent. And honestly, I'd rather have them target the most apparent stuff, because they're not smart enough to figure out where other things are. And I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be hit that bad.
And well, hopefully not. And hopefully it'll just be slingshots and things like that. I mean, those are the things we need to really get off the shelves anyway. But yeah, I don't know. Time will tell.
Well, there was just a stabbing spree down in Florida too today, you know, so we're going to start banning knives, you know?
Right.
I didn't hear anything about that.
I mean, some other countries already have that, but
right.
So let me ask you, and I'm behind on the news. That's a problem with a busy desk job. I don't get to pay very much attention during the day. Was it splashed all over the news? I mean, was it just for
No, it was just a very small story that I happened to come across. So it was interesting. I mean, the guy went crazy at his workplace and just went stabbing everybody, you know? And again, if somebody had a gun on them in their workplace, you just shoot him, put him out of his misery.
Yeah, take the off switch.
Right. Well, I'm kind of going back to the point of, you know, it just shows you the media's objective with all of this, right? That doesn't tug at your emotional heartstrings as much. That doesn't fit the narrative that's going on right now, unfortunately. Sure. But it's the reality, right? So many things could turn into something dangerous if the person chooses to, right? Mm-hmm. So it's all about the person, not the object.
You know what I also read today which was interesting, was that you know, I think one of the things about the gun community is a lot of people have a stereotype of who's a gun person. You know, normally big bushy beard, maybe 50 pounds overweight, living in the back of the woods somewhere, saying, "How y'all doing?" You know, something like that is probably the stereotype. You know, in other words, a white male. To say it that way, that's so bad. But I did read an interesting article. So one of the largest gun groups right now it's called the and I hope I get this right, but it's I think the National Association for African American Gun Owners.
Hmm.
And they are the fastest growing gun group in America, which I thought was fascinating. Because you've got these gun rights or the anti-gunners who are saying it's this group of people that we need to be afraid of, but yet you have another group of people that are there, and when they interviewed the members, they're saying they didn't want to join the NRA because a lot of why they own guns isn't exactly why the NRA was created. I mean, the NRA was created for hunters and that kind of stuff. But they're about personal protection because they live in some of the worst areas in the country, and a lot of them were saying they don't want to be a victim. And I thought that was such an amazing story because again we completely gloss over the fact that this thing about guns is not just one group of people. This is a multi-racial, multi-gender, multi-age group, and I think the more you start to talk about that and empower those groups, I think you're going to be better off.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Now, I've got a story that kind of goes along with that. It's a much smaller scale, but I was at Center Fire a few nights ago, and a young lady walked in, and she had just bought a small car, 380, with a pink frame and all that kind of stuff. But she was very excited, and she was like, I'm out running and all that kind of stuff, and I really want to get into self-protection and everything. She'd signed up for classes. She's doing a lot of range time and that sort of thing. And that was very inspiring. That's awesome. That's taking this into your own hands and becoming interested in your own security and all that kind of stuff. I think that's awesome. Again, a much smaller scale, but you're exactly right. It's not about one group. It's about anyone who wants to take that walk,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
I was going to say, I've got something pretty exciting on Saturday. One of my best friends, we grew up together, known each other since we were 9 years old. We're both the same age. His son is really, really big into airsoft, and he's actually pretty good at airsoft. And he's getting, older. He's in high school now, starting. And anyway, the son's been following me for a long time, and he's like, I want to go shooting with you. So Dad and the son, we're meeting up Saturday and going to do shooting, and it's really going to be, he's shot a pistol before, but not like really shot pistols. So it's going to be fun, getting to kind of experience that with him and, letting him try some different guns. And he's super excited about it. He's been like texting me every night, can I try this? Can I try that? I'm just like, I'm not going to bring everything the first day. We're not going to do that. But, of course I've went over all the safety with him and everything. But it's going to be exciting to kind of see, a young kind of excited potential gun owner because he wants to buy a rifle and, take it shooting and clean it and learn everything about it. That's what he wants to do. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Good. And that's the key. We got to start encouraging more groups to come out and say, this is why they do it. And it's about why we're here. Yeah. So Johnny Danger said, what hillbilly county in New York do you live in that allows your UCCW? I live in Ulster County, man. I'm not too far from the city. I'm actually, on a good day, no traffic, which is rare. I can get to New York City in probably an hour. It's about an hour drive, 45 minutes to an hour for me. So that's why I get in the car sometimes and go, even though I hate that city, but it's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I personally think that, when you start to see other groups come up and they start to become more vocal, it's really hard for people who are on the other side of that aisle to then claim it's just a particular group that wants this. And that has to be pushed more, and it's not about race. I don't, people right away want to make it about race and all this. It's not about that. It's about finding commonality between all of us to push our own agenda. I don't think any of us who watch this, hopefully not, and including ourselves, are dangerous to society, and all we want to do is be able to practice something that we like and enjoy. Some people like crocheting. Some people like to, watch NASCAR. I particularly like to shoot guns and learn how to get better at it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And until we start addressing it that way, it's more of an uphill battle than anything else.
And I think most people that are, anti-gun, it's because they're scared of the unknown. They don't they're not proficient in it. They don't, you know, the loud bang, you know, intimidates them and things like that. And I think if they were to get into it or try it, spend a little time with it, they might not be like, oh, this is my thing, but I think they would feel more comfortable with it, and people who own guns. So it's kind of breaking into that part of it also.
Right.
Take the timidness out.
We've had a couple of very interesting commenters in here.
Oh,
I'm noticing that.
But I've already removed 2.
Wow.
It's what's happening tonight.
I know. We're going crazy here. That's because nothing has come out in a long time. we got no new guns, man. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Let's see. We need to start shouting down the vocal minority. You just took it down. I can't read it now. Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is. Who keep parroting what mainstream media is telling them. I mean, you know, I don't know. This whole thing with guns now is just becoming so. But you know what's crazy though is that even though mainstream media is on this kick about guns, you're seeing sales grow. So they just went up 15% through the nation. I mean, that's impressive. That's an impressive amount of growth, especially when we have an agenda that is saying no more guns. Mm-hmm. And, you know, obviously with these companies that have come out like Walmart and all these other places that are now attached to Bloomberg's agenda, I find it even more interesting, you know, and we're going to see at the end of the day who's going to win. And I'm kind of interested to see how this is going to play out, especially for us who enjoy guns.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Fina's got a good question. Why doesn't the whole gun community band together?
I mean, I totally agree with that. I think we all should. And these fighting amongst each other, it's kind of ridiculous. But you know, I think we should all be on the same page. We might not exactly agree with that person's tactics or what they're spewing, but at the end of the day, we're all gun lovers or gun users. You know, depending on if you're going to use them for sport, self-defense, tactical training, whatever it might be. You know, you're still getting the word out about guns.
So Chester Cheetah has a very interesting comment for you guys.
Chester Cheetah. Oh,
hey, boy.
How you doing?
Mm. Holy shit, that was funny.
What is happening?
I mean, I'm gonna give him credit. That was a funny comment. Okay.
Oh, takes me back.
Boy, you need to. Yeah, there's another one. You need to get him out of here.
Oh, okay. Hang on, please hold.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Okay, bye.
I think we have to ban Chester Cheetah. Apparently, he doesn't get out enough and has never seen a female.
Oh, geez. Who let the 12-year-old onto the computer? What happened?
I don't know. Past his bedtime.
Yeah. Ray, thanks. Yeah, I am feeling better. It was a little bit of a rough go. You know, as you get older, you get an infection. It takes longer and longer to get that crap out of your system. And so it just, you know, it is what it is. It's part of life.
Yes, it is.
Boy, you have really attracted some weirdos tonight.
Oh, Pistol Beat, you guys have finally made it. I know. I'm telling you, man. What is happening?
It's probably Honest Outlaw, actually.
Oh, probably. I'll tell you that guy.
Yeah.
Peter K says, red flag him. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, I did. So, you know, I think right now, gun-wise, you know, there's not a heck of a lot going on. I know somebody asked me about the 92 or the Berettas. So that's being worked on this week. So hopefully within another week, I should have that back. I'm really excited to see what he did with it. You know, we kind of talked again about color scheme and all that other stuff, and it's going to be interesting. And I have all these parts that I want to put in there to make the gun run even better. But I look forward to that coming back. You know, maybe by the time I retire, that Masada will be here. But, you know, it's disappointing right now. But again, I guess we should expect this time of the year, we're not going to see a heck of a lot coming out, you know, and it's kind of one of those times where you just kind of have to take a step back, you know, and I'm sure we all have the urge to want to buy something right now. But I think also you got to take that step back. I really don't know what else to look for. Like I said, I want some more aluminum type frame guns. You know, I've been looking at, you guys are going to laugh, but I've been looking at P10s again. But not because I really want one. It's just that I'm bored. I'm just bored, you know, and that's terrible to say because I have so many and I'm blessed to have them. But I think it comes from the fact that I really want to start using this, but I just don't have anything for it right now. So I'm kind of just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, so to speak.
You can send it to me. I'll go ahead and break it in for you.
No, that's okay. But I appreciate the offer.
No
Yeah.
problem.
I'm with you though on the boredom. In fact, and I don't remember if it was Paul. I don't remember who it was that kind of called me out on it the other night because I've gone back and I'm kind of revisiting like the HKVP9SK and the P10S and some of those and just kind of going back and first enjoying them a little bit more. I got into a place where I was kind of spitting out content and getting rid of things and moving on to the next thing so fast that it's tough to sit back and really enjoy a little bit and reevaluate as well. I mean, I was a little bit critical on the P10S, and so I'm trying to see if was I really right? Is there a little bit more to it because people continue to talk about that? The HK9 VPS or HK VP9SK is a great gun. I've really been enjoying that a lot, and just kind of going back, taking a step back a little bit, and trying to rehash some things a little bit, and that's been a lot of fun. And me and Gene just put a comment out there. I want to highlight this real quick because you've got me stumped, brother. You need something different to talk about. What about 9mm major?
Open gun.
So tell us more.
Oh, it's juiced up ammo, boss. You run comps on them. I mean, that's what a lot of open guns are, 9mm major.
So it's just hot. I mean, it's hot 9mm.
Super hot. Oh yeah. It's basically a 9mm load that equals like a major power factor load. It'll get it, and it's loud. If you've ever been at a match and listened to open guns, holy crap. Because we stand under like a metal awning, and man, it just reverberates through there. I mean, they're super, super loud. Matter of fact, Humble and I are going to be doing a test as soon as I get something back on that exact thing.
That's cool.
Interesting. Yeah, I've never heard a 9mm major before, so interesting.
Yeah, it basically meets the major power factor, so you can shoot a 9mm in competition, and you get major power factor points.
Now, one of the things that I've been looking at is, I was talking about that one company, Dark Storm Industries, based out of New York. And I'm thinking about maybe picking up a lower from them because it's, the magazine's actually incorporated into the lower when they make it. Mm-hmm. So you can do whatever you want with it. You can put a muzzle brake on it. You can get a pistol grip, the stock that you want, everything else you can do just because of that one thing. So I'm really thinking about it and wanting to build my own and really making my own, and I know like Triple C posted that thing this morning about his bolt carrier group that he got at Brownell's. And I mean, stuff like that gives me hope that maybe, just maybe I will attempt this. Not sure yet. I was trying to get them to, maybe give me the old hookup there, but that went nowhere, and it went nowhere quickly.
Right.
I don't know, I love, so I was trying to convince people on my own chat, go over there and start harassing the shit out of them. Saying, give this guy from New York a chance to test your product out, or at least, help him out. And so far, nothing has happened. So, Dark Storm Industries, guys, based out of New York. But, it's something I'm definitely looking at just to kind of move away a little bit from the pistols because the wait is too long, and I kind of want to get into some other things. So that's a definite possibility, and I've never built anything like that before. So it should be interesting.
That'd be cool.
You'll have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy that. Just building stuff is fun, just fun regardless.
Yeah, it is. And you can do it exactly like you want. You can use the barrel you want. You can use everything you want.
Right. And then hopefully it'll save me the cost because, the rifles they were showing me, and I was close. Like the cheapest one was like $1,100.
That's actually not bad.
And it had a lot of cool features to it, M-lock rail, all this other stuff to it. But I just wonder if I could actually buy that or make all that stuff my own and do it the way I wanted to do it at a cheaper cost.
I'm sure you could. Yeah.
Yeah. And something different. Why not?
Yeah, definitely.
AR is like the Glock of rifles.
Plus, I want to see how angry I can get when part A doesn't fit into part B or something like that. So.
Well, and depending on what they're using, like what type of barrel, etc., and what type of upper, and what type of bolt carrier group. I mean, $1,100 is not
right
out of the ordinary for a good AR.
Yeah, I mean, they had like a nickel boron, everything, barrel, the group, everything, and I think that one was at like $1,200.
Yeah. Nickel boron's nice. It stays slick forever.
Yeah,
and But see, when you buy it, like I've bought a couple of nickel boron primary arms, or one of them had them on sale, and I got them nickel boron for $89 for the whole
Nice.
bolt. And I mean, so you can find deals like that and then build them like you want them.
Now, my question is, and again, I don't know because I've never dove into this at all, but if I buy a lower, does it have to go to an FFL?
Mm-hmm.
The lower it does, yes.
Okay, because that's
serialized
that's
part.
the registered part then, right?
Yeah, none of the other stuff is.
Okay.
I mean,
now let me ask you this: do they count that as a rifle part or a pistol part?
it's a
Whatever it's registered as.
either. It's counted as an either, so you can use it for a pistol or a rifle. But once you build it,
Right.
that's what it is.
That's
Okay.
what it is. Yeah.
All right. I'm not sure. Like that's something, like I said, I've never dove into. So
On the paperwork, they'll put it as an other.
uh,
So that's the way it's listed, and you can build a pistol out of it or a rifle.
gotcha. Interesting.
And it's always good to have, like I've got a stash of lowers, just unbuilt. It's not a bad idea to have those.
Right. And then Rotodima puts it there where that scares me even more. He says, have a gunsmith check the head spacing. What? I'm telling you, this is new. This is new territory, man. Totally new territory. So this could be dangerous.
Well, it'll be a learning experience for you. Now, Nicholas Rodriguez is saying, has anyone tried the CX4 Storm?
That's the little carbine, right?
That's the carbine.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's illegal here.
Yeah. I've shot one, but I've never owned one. It wasn't mine. It was a friend of mine's. And it's kind of cool, but very space agey looking. But I guess if that's what you want or what you like.
All right.
I hear those that have them swear by them.
Yeah.
They absolutely love them. I've seen them in person. It's been years, but I've certainly never shot one. I always thought they looked really cool, but never jumped into one. So
They're definitely different.
yeah. Yeah,
Battlestar Galactica.
it's like rabbis saying CX4 Storm is crap, way too much recoil for what it is. Well, I think things have probably come a long way since then, because again, I want to say it's like 6, 7, 8 years old, something like that.
Yeah.
I remember watching videos years ago about that. But still kind of an interesting design, that sort of thing. Again, I have no shooting experience with it.
Yeah, the one that I shot wasn't bad. It wasn't like super, super old. It was maybe a couple of years old. And I didn't think it had bad recoil, but I guess it depends on the person. And I still, when you were talking about aluminum pistols, I'm still interested in that damn Monarch from Nemo Arms, but I guess I don't know what the hell happened to it. I thought about calling them one day just to find out, but then I was like, well,
Maybe
they haven't shown it anymore. They haven't advertised it. They haven't said jack about it.
I wonder if they just ran out of funds for it.
And they could have, or they found out that their price point on it, because they had it at NRA or whatever at SHOT Show, maybe the price point was just, too many people were saying, man, it's way too high. So they either went back to the drawing board to try to get it cheaper, or they just said, you know what, we can't make this and make money off of it.
Yeah,
Probably. When you're putting all those materials together, that's an expensive gun.
Yeah, I think the starting one was like 1,400 and something.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe not a lot of people are going to buy that, but it looked really cool, and I was kind of excited about it.
Nice. Corey, good to see you from Erie, PA. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Well, guys, it's just about that time, believe it or not. Any last minute thoughts, anything coming in the near future?
Go ahead, 17.
It depends on a lot. It depends on if the mail is friendly to me this week. So that's all I can say right now. Obviously, I do the chats on Sunday. I started this thing called Subscribe Star, which, again, I only do it once in every video where I'll say something about it. So feel free to check that out. If you choose to, fine. If not, no biggie. And other than that, I don't know. I've got a lot of ammo right now, and I'm telling you, I'm having an urge to go shoot, but I want to wait. And that's all I'm waiting for, is that Masada to come in.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think you're really going to like it. I played with one, and I think you're really going to like it.
Oh, and I got contacted by Caracal. The gun is there. They are looking at it right now as we speak, maybe. And he said, we will get back to you as soon as we know what happened. And that was 2 days ago. So, be patient, folks. I plan on telling you exactly what the experience was after the fact. And that gun's got to be perfect. If it comes back and there's still a problem, sorry, You got to buy it back from me.
Can you imagine like four guys sitting around four engineers sitting around a table, just staring at it, looking at each other, going, "I don't know, man. I don't know."
I'm telling you, man. And the sad part is, they're probably shooting it right now, and it's gone through 10,000 rounds with no problems. And then, you know, I don't know. Like I said, I have no idea what the hell was going on with that gun, but I know for a fact it's not me. And if you look at some of the other videos that people have made, they've had the same exact problem. So there's something wrong with that gun.
I see it sitting on a desk, holding down a whole bunch of papers. That's what I see it doing.
Yeah.
Nice paperweight. Hello, Kathleen. Rabbi
but I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm definitely going to try to get another one out of them. I'm going to try to get 2 of them. So
they're watching this. Just
good. Let them watch. You guys have to give me an OD green one with the quick sights, and that's how we'll make this good. And it better run. So you know,
I've got
work with the mechanic.
Yeah, I've got 2 guns completely put together now, and I have 2 more that are coming in, and then after that I'm done. So now I got to get to shooting all these things and dialing them in. I'm going to try to do that. I will do that this weekend, get a bunch of them dialed in, and I think I have one coming that is probably even crazier than some of the other ones I've done. So it'll be interesting, but it's going to be fun. And think of long distance, but with a pistol.
Nice. Cool, man. Cool. Well, definitely stuff coming up. I need to do a review on this guy. It's hard to tell which way I need to go with that. Neat little custom build here. A bunch of companies. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that'll be coming before too long. Some other stuff as well, like the Combat Master. I'm excited about that. So that's pretty much it. But to everybody, thank you very much for hanging out with us on another Wednesday night. 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Not bad.
For next time. So we'll see. But everybody, stay safe. Shoot. We will see you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Carry on.
See you later, fellas.
Bye, guys.
All right. How do I get out of this?
Very carefully.